Hi, I'm Yin-Tzai, and I'll be teaching you the 5 basic stances of Shaolin Kung Fu. Oh, and one more thing, I highly recommend that you stretch before you practice the stance. It will definitely make it a lot easier. Okay, so the first stance you're going to be learning is called horse stance, which looks like this. So the reason why it's called horse stance, well, imagine you're sitting on like this big ass horse who's like have a huge belly, so you need to spread your legs out wide. Alright, so now this is how you do the horse stance. So what you want to do is widen your leg stand and widen your legs apart. Make sure your both legs are above shoulder distance, and then what you're going to do is just squat down and to here. And make sure that when you squat down, your toes are pointing forward and your knees are pushed out. I know right now it's kind of hard for me because I'm kind of stiff, but it should look like this. And to make sure that you're like the right level, you're going to do get the staff, place it here, and just rest. Now, if the staff rolls off, that likely means you're too high. And so the best position is when your legs are 90 degrees or perpendicular parallel to the ground. And like this, you're gonna hold it. That's your horse stance. Oh, and by the way, what you also want to do, I'm gonna show you from the side, is you want to also try your best to keep your back straight. I know I'm still working on it, but for proper stance form, you want to keep your back straight. And I'm gonna have my hands out like this. Alright. Okay. So now that you learn Ma Bu, which is horse stance, the next stance you're gonna learn is called Gong Bu, which means bow stance. And it's supposed to look like this. And the reason why it's called Gong Bu, Gong means bow. So when you sit, imagine you have like this bow and arrow, which I know it's like a staff. But imagine, and then you shoot like a bow and arrow in this stance. Yes. And even though I don't really see archers doing it, I'm sure it looks badass doing it, so it gets Gong Bu as a name. Alright, so this is what you're gonna do. So first, you're gonna start, best to start from Ma Bu position. And this is what you're gonna do. So Gong Bu, unlike Ma Bu, has two sides, left, right. So right now I'm gonna go to my left. So to do that, I'm just going to turn my left foot so that it faces to the left side, and then I'm just going to straighten out my back leg, which happens to be my right leg. And when I do that, the toe points forward to the camera. And also make sure your leg is straight when you do this, very important. And in order to tell how low you are, just like Ma Bu, I'm going to place the staff here and just let it balance. And also try your best to keep your back straight. I know mine is probably curvy, but I'm doing my best. And then to the other side, I'm just going to go from Ma Bu, and then point my right foot to the right, straighten out my back leg, and have my left foot point towards the camera. And then I'm just going to do the same thing with the staff. Place it here, let it balance, and then there. And also a tip, Ma Bu to Gong Bu, always try to like stay the same level. I know it's hard, but that's how it's supposed to be done. And that's all for Gong Bu. Okay, so recently we learned Gong Bu. Now the next one is Fu Bu, which means like a drop stance or flat stance. I don't know which one, but it's just Fu Bu, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so when you're doing this, when I'm doing it, it's like I just drop my whole body, and I'm like, my legs are somewhat flat. I don't know, it's like the lowest and flattest of all. Okay, so this is how you do it. I suggest you start from Gong Bu position, and right now I'm just going to start with the right Gong Bu. So this is what you want to do. So basically, I suggest when you learn this, it's a little trickier, so I suggest using like a stick. I'll show one without a stick. I'll show without a stick first. So what you're going to do from here, now have both toes face the camera, and then what you want to do is slowly bend this back leg and let yourself sink. I know right now I'm not going all the way because I'm stiff and my hips are hurting. So I'm just going to go down to here. And also, another pointer, try your best not to lift your toe up like this. That's for something different. When you do pupu, both foot are flat on the ground. And also, basically, you also, no, you don't want to have like, try not to get your foot like this. So just have both toes facing and just go down. I suggest using your hand to grab both foot to help this. And this stance is a little trickier, especially for those who are not as flexible. So because of that, I'm going to show you how you can do it with a stick. So what you're going to do with the stick, you're just going to place it behind your knee and keep it perpendicular to the ground. Very important. And now try to go down, and when you do, try to keep your stick, the staff, as straight as possible. Okay? Now I'm going to do the left side. So I'm going to start with gongbu. And then I'm going to have both toes face the camera. And because I have my stick, I'm going to place my stick behind my knee. And then I'm just going to let myself slowly sit down, like this. Yeah, it's already hurting me already. But so to do it properly, you also want to when you do it, try to get your back up. Now I know this part is really tricky. If you can't, that's okay. But this is what it looks like with its back up. And then I'm just going to put my hands up like this. Look cool, right? And that's all for pubu. Okay. So we just did pubu. Next will be shibu, which means empty stance or false legged stance. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So when learning this stance, this is easier than pubu, but it's like just as tiring. Well, actually, all the stance can be pretty tiring when you do it right, but this won't hurt as much as when you do pubu. So this is what you're going to do, how to do it. So first, you're just going to start standing upright, both foot facing the camera. Then you pick a side. Yes, it's also double-sided, so I'll choose left this time. So I'm going to turn my foot to the left, but keep this foot facing the camera, and have him like face like a 9-degree angle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend my right leg. The lower you can go, the better. But if you can't, that's okay, like me. And what you're going to do now is lift your left leg, have it barely touching the ground. That's why it's called like empty leg or false-legged stance or empty stance, because you're not actually like planting to the ground. And also another thing, it's not one-legged, so it's not like you don't want to lift your leg like really high up, and try to like keep it touching the ground, but barely touching the ground. And we're gonna do a pose, and I'll show you the other side. So same thing, 9 degrees perpendicular, right leg face right, left foot face camera. I'm just gonna bend, barely lift my right leg off the ground, and then keep it like barely touching, like this. And yes, it can get pretty tiring, but this is how it's done. And that's all for shibu. Okay. So the fifth and final stance we're going to learn is called xiebu, which is called rest stance, and it looks like this. So the reason why it's called rest, I'm not so sure why actually, but it's just called rest. So this is how, and now I'll teach you how to do it. So what you're gonna do, this is also double-sided too. It can look pretty complex, but don't worry, I'll break it down. So first, for one side, I'm gonna take my right leg, cross it behind the left leg, like this. I'm gonna look closer, and then what I'm going to do is just go down, like this. And when I'm nearly at like a sitting position, that's why it's called shibu, because like you're sitting, then you're done. And I'll show what it looks like from like the side too. This is the right side. And this is from this side. Okay. And now I'll show you left side. So now, keep left leg, place it behind right leg, and same thing, just squat down, like this. This is from the side point of view. And then I'll show you the other side point of view. And that's pretty much all to it. So those are the 5 stances: 马步、弓步、扑步、士步、蟹步. And I know this is my first tutorial video, and I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'll promise I'll do more tutorials in the future. Well, I know I'll be heading to college soon, but yeah, hopefully I don't get the work, hopefully I don't get homework take too much of my time. But that's all. Thank you very much.